the story of Egypt's struggle against Britain. In the early 20th century, Egypt was under British occupation, which had lasted since 1882. Despite British control over the country, the Egyptian people were never content with the occupation and resisted it in every way possible. The beginning. The struggle against Britain began with the rise of national consciousness in Egypt. At the beginning of the 20th century, the national movement began to take shape, led by prominent Egyptian figures such as Mustafa Kemal and Saad Zaghloul. They were demanding Egypt's independence and the rights of the Egyptian people. However, the true revolt against British occupation began with the 1919 revolution. After World War I, the British had promised Egyptians independence, but they failed to fulfill this promise. This became the spark that ignited the revolution. Saad Zaghloul and his fellow national leaders called for independence, leading to mass protests across Egypt. The 1919 Revolution. In March 1919, massive demonstrations erupted in Cairo, Alexandria, and many other Egyptian cities. The Egyptian people demanded an end to British occupation and full independence. This revolution shocked the British and forced the British government to recognize the power of Egypt's nationalist movements. Despite the violent repression by British forces, the Egyptians did not stop their struggle. The protests continued, and the Egyptian people boycotted British products and refused to cooperate with the occupation. This peaceful and civil resistance had a significant impact on Egyptian society. Culmination of the struggle. In 1922, thanks to the continuous pressure from the Egyptian people on Britain, the British announced Egypt's partial independence. During this period, Egypt was granted a form of independence, but the British still retained control over the Suez Canal and many political and economic matters. However, the struggle against British rule continued until the July 23, 1952 revolution, led by Gamal Abdel Nasser, Anwar Sadat, and other free officers. This revolution led to the abolition of the monarchy in Egypt and the declaration of the Republic, marking the complete end of British influence in the country. Conclusion. The struggle against Britain in Egypt was not just a military conflict, it was a long fight for dignity and freedom. The Egyptian people were united in their quest for independence and faced British occupation in all possible ways, whether through armed revolts or peaceful resistance. Ultimately, full independence was achieved, making Egypt one of the countries that proved to the world that the will of the people is unconquerable.